Whom shall I fear? Neither though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's Wednesday. This morning, I will backtrack on some conversation we had about Gihok. And yesterday, I saw a very, very interesting letter that had been written from Gihok, inviting some persons to appear before a committee. Put that letter up for me. Now, if you look at the letter, it's quite interesting that the letter was not put on a letterhead, which is quite strange. But the recipients, who also got their salaries for April in May, towards the end of May, they don't know when next their salaries for May will come. They received this. Now, what was their crime? Their crime is that they had demonstrated or intention to demonstrate. Because I said they demonstrated, then it means that they were successful. Because 20 policemen were brought from Kaneshi police station to prevent them from demonstrating. Who did that? It was the managing director of Gihok. They prevented them from demonstrating. Now they are going around, I'm told, asking whether the interim management committee and the MD who performed better. You know, when the MD went on a sick leave, they actually brought in an IMC, which was summarily dissolved. Immediately the MD resumed, and we are told that it is order from above. I have assigns going around asking who performed better. They have been giving this, and I decided to black out the name. So dated the 26th of May, 2023, it says, Dear Sir, invitation to the Committee of Inquiry. On the 16th of May, 2023, a demonstration was staged on the premises of Gihok Distilleries Company Limited, of which you participated. You are therefore invited by the Committee of Inquiry to respond to your conduct with respect to the staged demonstration. Thank you. And it's signed by the HR admin and legal. There's a name there. And then it's copied to the committee members. So now, the understanding I get is that even when you feel oppressed, even when your salaries have delayed, even when your tier 3 contributions have been deducted and have not been paid, as the company Met had told us, even when your SNIT contributions have not been paid, even when your, you have challenges at work, you cannot demonstrate. Put that letter up again for me. Let's read the letter. And the letter is not on the letterhead. This is from Gihok. They say they got their salaries for April in May. They don't know when their salaries for May will come. They don't know. But it says on the 16th of May, 2023, a demonstration was staged on the premises of Gihok Distilleries Company Limited, of which you participated. You are therefore invited by the Committee of Inquiry to respond to your conduct with respect to the state demonstration. Signed, admin legal. It's the same legal people who ask you that you should stand up for your right. What were they demonstrating? They were demonstrating the fact that their tier 3 had been deducted and not been paid. They were demonstrating the fact that the company was backtracking because we owed GRA to the tune of over 200 million. They were demonstrating the fact that their SNIT contributions have not been paid. There's a subject in the court, so I won't discuss the details. They were complaining about the fact that their conditions of service had worsened. They are complaining about the fact that their wage bill had ballooned and that the productivity was not going on well. They are complaining about the fact that they used to have 7 managers, now they have 27 managers. They were complaining that the vehicle that was bought for the MD in 2019, a Genesis G90 or something, had been auctioned to him. And up until now, about 4,000 or so CDs have been paid. Those were the issues they were raising. Police were brought to Gihok to prevent them from demonstrating. Now, this had been written. Guess what? It was not put on a letterhead. But you know, the boss knows that nothing will happen. And people will be intimidated Because now you have our signs going around asking between the IMC and the MD who performed better. The man knows that nothing will happen to him because he's an in-law of the president. He knows that nothing will happen to him because he's a brother to the chief of staff. He knows that nothing will happen. He knows. So we are told that we are in a democracy. We are told that we are in a tolerant state. But this is the height of intolerance. That you are in pain, but you cannot demonstrate. You can't speak up. How dare you speak up? Let's move away from GEOC. Yesterday, I saw an interesting thing. First, pull up the Electoral Commission's internal circular. This is a memorandum from the Electoral Commission of Ghana, from Director Human Resource, Head Office, and Regional Directors. That's who has been addressed to. It was addressed to them. Subject submission of curriculum vitae is dated the 29th of May 2023. Let's read it. I bring you greetings from the corporate head of the commission. This comes to inform you that the office of the president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has requested for the curriculum vitae of senior management of state agencies from director and above. You are therefore requested to submit your CV by noon today, 29th of May 2023, through ec.hrdirectorate@gmail.com for the attention of the commission. Thank you. And who signed that? Let's see the signature quickly. Samuel D. Boedu, he signed that one. Now, Professor Ransford Jampo had written something on Facebook. He was asking certain questions and making certain claims. Let's see what Prof said. He says, Dear President Akufo-Addo, why do you want to do this to an independent commissioner? We know that the constitution of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana gives the Electoral Commission independence, unless otherwise stated in law. It says, why do you want to do this to an independent commission? It appears under your tenure, you are doing everything you can to decimate the independence of all independent institutions. But to what end? The history of Ghana's Fourth Republic shows that you are currently the worst president promoting the sanctity of the independence of the Electoral Commission. Right? That is what Professor Jampo had said. Said the history of the Fourth Republic shows that you are currently the worst president in promoting the sanctity of the independence of the Electoral Commission. Unfortunately, it continues, there aren't courageous people around you to tell you to back off your attempts at annexing the Electoral Commission. Back in the days, Dan Botwe, as General Secretary of the NPP, could boldly tell President Kufuor in the face to back off his attempt to usurp the procurement powers of the Electoral Commission, and the president had no choice than to listen. Please, leave office and leave the sanctity of our independent institutions intact. This is not a practice worth emulating or repeating, sir. This demand is unnecessary, and its optics for the quest to deal with the independence deficit of the Electoral Commission are bad. But the Electoral Commission, too, must not be seen to be swallowing everything thrown to them by the president, hook, line, and sinker. Say, as an independent body, they should stick with their independence. That's what Professor Ransford Jampo has said. There are questions that come, and I've stood here and asked the Electoral Commission to take care of its image ahead of the 2024 elections, to take care of its image. In fact, at the last by-election in Kumewu, there were certain incidents, and I said, Electoral Commission, take charge of your image. You should not be seen to be being controlled. Take charge of your image. Because your name doesn't sound sweet in the mouth of not just the NDC, but all the other opposition parties. Take charge of your image. Take charge of your image. The president will appoint to the Electoral Commission. But after the president appoints, your daily dealings are your independence. It is for you. So now what is the CV being demanded for? That's the first question. Is the president suggesting to us that the latest people he put at the Electoral Commission, the Dr. Apiahene and the Hajia, who have come under strong public criticism that they are strong party people and he still ignore them, he doesn't know what their CV contains? Is that the suggestion from the president? That he doesn't know the people he appointed, or he did not appoint them, they were appointed for him and he endorsed them? Is that the understanding? Why do we need this? I have stood here, at least I've given you about 5 state institutions that are being run aground. GEOC is one of them. We have not moved to solve those issues. We are interested in the Electoral Commission because we want to break the 8. People are beginning to ask questions, and once people start fingering the integrity and the sanctity and the independence of the Electoral Commission, it is not good. Ghana is a beacon of hope. On the African continent, we are seen as a light that shines and others follow. If we fail at this attempt to entrench the independence of the Electoral Commission, as the prof is asking, we are in trouble. And may it not be said that people have been put at the Electoral Commission to do the bidding of a political party. Because in the past few years, right from when the venerable Dr. Farijan left, we have been toying with the Electoral Commission. Oh yes, we have been toying with the Electoral Commission. We put Charlotte Osei, then we put Jim Mensah, put Bosman Asari here. We are toying with the Electoral Commission. And we are toying with it because we benefit from whatever toy games we are playing with the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission must affirm its independence. And this will be a test case for the Electoral Commission. If you look at the law, right? If you look at the law, it talks about the independence of the Electoral Commission. So how is it that there's a law that gives them independence? The prof is saying that the president has his hand everywhere and that the independence of the Electoral Commission should back off. And he gave the example of the Venerable Damboche, then as General Secretary, MP for Kre, Minister for Local Governance, right? He gave that example that when push came to shove, he told President Kufuor to back off in the procurement issues of the Electoral Commission. Now we're asking for CV. So that's what will happen. What are we updating? We have chosen to put people who have gone past 60, people who have gone past 70, some who are inching 80, in places running day-to-day activities of state-owned enterprises that are declaring losses. Young people can't find work to do. We are not focusing on that. We are focusing on the Electoral Commission. Because those institutions don't count votes and don't declare presidents. These ones do. Electoral Commission, take charge of your image. The last election, you declared 6 results. You brought results, took it back, brought it, took it back, brought it, took it back. Before we knew, Sylviano was out there in Denmark as an ambassador. We have seen Ketu North, ballot sheet that were not stamped. In the last election, we saw how Nanado's picture was cut from it by an official. In the just ended by-election at Kumewu, we saw how an old woman was voted for against her wish. We have seen too many of these things. Electoral Commission, take charge of your image, oh. Take charge of your image. And you see, I'm saying these things because when Jim Mensah was at the IEA, she used to make very, 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 very interesting contributions. Professor Jampo used to work with Jim Mensah. Interesting contributions. Today, Madam has been given the football field. We see the ball. Good morning.